right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the September 13th meeting of the Special Events Team. It's a team brought together by the City of Boise to all the agencies and organizations that sign off on special events in our community, making sure that they are safe and accessible and fun for everyone. We are an open meeting, live streamed and living on the internet in perpetuity, so mind your P's and Q's. No decisions made here today, just an administrative function, but it's a good opportunity for all of the organizations to hear from event organizers and event organizers to have us all in one place to ask questions. So we will start per usual with roundtable introductions and then get into our agenda. We've got 4 events here today, all very experienced event organizers though, so we should be in good shape. My name is Maria Wake. I'm with the Office of Community Engagement here at the City of Boise, ECHD.
John Wasson, Ada County Highway District.
Debbie White, Ada County Highway District.
Conrad McDaniel, Republic Services.
Vince Vergara, City of Boise Parking.
Dave Foch, Valley Regional Transit.
Dinko Milkovich, Central District Health.
Julianne Hagler, City Risk Management.
Summer Altieri, Boise Parks and Rec.
Jesse Tappert, Boise Fire Prevention.
Taylor Gomez, Boise Police.
Matthew Konvalenko, Boise Police.
Steve Walker with the State of Idaho.
Dina Sugar, State Clerk Office.
Kelly Frank, City Clerk's Office.
And I think we've got 3 folks online, so we'll do introductions now, and then I'll call on you where you would normally be on the seating chart. We'll start with Ed.
Good morning, Ed Graves, Public Works.
Cameo
Cameo Rogers, Ada County Paramedics.
and Rachel. No, Rachel? Right, we probably have Rachel, so let's get her online by the time it's her turn to ask questions, but Rachel Holford with the emergency services.
Sorry, Maria, my apologies. They were trying to change it to a panelist. I am here. Thank you.
Terrific, thanks so much. First up, Boise Comic Arts Festival, Josh Chappelle from our very own library. Josh, I will tell you that at our booth this weekend at Pride, we had the postcards for Boise Comic Arts Festival, and people that were real excited and really, really loved the artwork.
Oh, great. Is this on? Thank you. Thank you for having me today. I'm going to talk a little bit about Boise Comic Arts Festival and share what we're planning. I mean, we've done this for 11 years now. This will be our 11th year. So it's changed quite a bit over the years. Last year, we started at the zoo and in Julie Davis Park, something we hadn't done before, and we're going to do that again this year. And we've added a little bit of scale to last year. So other than that, there's not a lot of big changes, but I'll do a brief introduction of the event itself. So the event's been, as I mentioned, going for 11 years now. It's become the largest comics focused event in Idaho. And this year will be taking place September 29th through October 1st. The real focus though for what I'm going to be presenting on today is September 30th, which is the Saturday. And we'll be at Zoo Boise, as I mentioned, the Idaho State Museum, and Julie Davis Park. So the event features Librarians and Educators Day, an artist alley that has, we bring in right around 30 guest creators from all across the country. Then we have a bunch of local vendors and exhibitors who will be there as well that comprise our artist alley. The event will have panels and workshops with our guest creators. There will be cosplay contests, including we're bringing back dog cosplay this year. So if any of you all have dogs or want to see dogs in costume, this is a great opportunity. And then we have all sorts of other all ages activities going on. So Friday, September 29th is our Librarians and Educators Day, and it's basically a mini conference for teachers and librarians. It'll be all inside of the Idaho State Museum. The The attendance cap is 50. And so we'll do panels and workshops with some of our guest creators. So they'll get to learn about how to use comics in the classroom and how to develop library collections with comics. So that's pretty self-contained. For parking, it would just be the park and the library parking lot across the street. We don't have any additional security for that other than the museum's regular security. Say with medical, nothing additional, and nothing additional for trash or recycling for that day. So it's pretty small. So Saturday, we're going to be at the zoo. That's going to be our primary location. It's a free day at the zoo. We have folks registering to attend. People can register the day of as well. We'll have vendors loading in starting at between 8 and 10 a.m. The event runs from 10 to 6. The vendor loadout is from 6 to 7. And the zoo has a total attendance cap of 15,000. Last year, we had right around 6,100 in the zoo that day. And so our estimate based on last year's attendance is between 6,000 and 8,000 this year. We're hoping that it'll grow a little bit from what we had last year, but we're doing more advertising. As Maria mentioned, we have flyers out all over, posters, and we'll be doing some media advertising here coming up shortly. So for parking Saturday, we have the Julia Davis Park parking lots. We also, I'm working with Maria from Parks and Rec to get the shuttle from Ann Morrison Park. So we'll be transporting people between there and Julia Davis Park. For trash and recycling, we have an extra dumpster lined up for the zoo. We don't have an extra recycling bin. There's more trash than recycling for the event, and most of the waste is food waste. The zoo will be serving food at their different sort of kitchens and restaurant areas, and then we'll have a couple of food trucks out in the park as well. So we've asked for some additional trash containers and recycling containers are out in the park that we'll place around and make sure folks are getting their waste put away properly. And then for security, we have contracted with Allied. We worked with them last year for security within the zoo. This year, they'll have a couple of staff members in the zoo, and then they'll have several outside of the zoo as well. Based on the zoo's recommendation, based on their experience with last year, we really didn't have any security issues. So they suggested we decrease the number of security inside the zoo, and then we're going to have those additional folks out in the park patrolling. And then medical, the zoo has their own sort of setup as far as dealing with emergencies. We're also going to contract with, I'm talking with Acute Rescue to have an on-site ambulance presence in the park. So if we run into any additional issues out there, since we're kind of spreading out a lot further than we were last year. We were a little bit out in the park last year in front of the zoo. This year, we're going to kind of have our vendors between the zoo and the State Museum, kind of a corridor there. And then Sunday, we're pulling everything back again like we did last year. It'll just be located at the museum. The event time's 10 to 3. Last year, we had right around 1,000 people throughout that time frame. So that's what we're anticipating for this year. Mostly it'll just be panels and workshops with guest creators in the museum. And so security, once again, we're not going to have anything additional. Same with medical and same with trash. There's no food service that day, so there's not going to be a lot more or as much waste generated. Saturday is really the big day where there's going to be a lot more of everything. So, and that's what I have.
Thanks, Josh. Just one thing. We are a city for everyone, and cats look really cute in costumes too.
They do, but they're harder to wrangle.
That is, that's fair. That is fair.
Yeah, one of our attorneys actually is into chickens, and a few years ago she suggested chickens as well.
Chickens probably look cute in costumes too.
Yeah, which would be great, but wrangling chickens and cats is harder than dogs.
Let's get this back on track. ACHD has nothing. This is totally within the park and doesn't have any impact on the road network.
Good morning. Last year you had the 8-yard and it's grown a little bit. Are you still comfortable with having the 8-yard?
I think so. I think that with what the zoo already has for their dumpsters there, and then I think with that additional, I think that should be okay. But I guess I'm open to if you think going up a size would be good, that would be great too.
Yeah, I was just kind of counting on your memory from last year. You had extra bags that didn't fit in because it was too full.
I don't think so. I don't think that any big issues. It was mostly last year was a lot more contained in the zoo though, so we just had the food waste from the zoo's in-house catering folks.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on it this year, and if you need to get a bigger size next year, we can do that certainly.
Okay.
But your list of recycled materials looks spot on, so I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go to Ed really quick.
Hey, Josh. Yeah, I don't really have much to add on. We'll get you all the bins for the recycling and trash you need. But what is the quick plan for how are you going to move the recyclables to the recycling dumpster at the zoo?
We have some staff will have sort of circulating and checking the bins. So we'll be able to take stuff during the day if it fills up. And then at the end of the day, we'll make sure we get it all into the recycling dumpster.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, thank you. That's all I've got.
Josh, thank you for calling me. You're like the first person that has ever reached out to me versus me chasing somebody around. So thanks for that. We're setting parking. Thanks.
Thank you.
And since the event is totally contained within the parks, it doesn't impact our operations. So have a good event. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good morning, Josh.
Morning.
We've been in communication about this event, so you're good to go, man. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Good morning. We don't have anything for risk. Thanks.
We're good in parks right now. If you have more questions for your audio visual for the band show, we'll talk about it after.
All right, let's go to Cameo real quick.
Morning, Josh. We spoke yesterday, so we're good. If you could just send the contract over once you get it with Acute, and we'll add it to the special events packet.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. After our detailed conversation last night, I don't have anything else either. Thank you.
Thank you. Nothing from Boise Police. We will put it in our daily briefing packet so officers are aware of the event.
That'd be great. Thanks.
Josh, thank you for the phone call, and sorry I didn't get back to you. Reference to this, most all of it's off of our property, except for the museum still within the state. I reached out to their account manager for the security just to make sure those teams are aware, but we're all good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Rachel.
Good morning, everyone. And Josh, thank you so much. You do a tremendous job on putting this all together. We have all the information we need. Appreciate the medical coverage and the security. So best of luck, and can't wait to see the costumes, and definitely want to see all the dogs.
I think anything that you can wrangle into a costume should be welcome, so.
We will explore that for next year.
Sounds good.
We're open to suggestions.
Thank you for your vendor list for the food and beverages. Looks good. If we need anything else, we'll let you know, but feel free to reach out to us too.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Josh. Thanks. Up next, See Spot Walk.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay.
All right, good morning. So we're doing our 31st annual See Spot Walk this year, October 7th. It's always the first Saturday in October. So It's gonna run pretty much exactly the way it did last year, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The walk route also will be the same except reversed. So this event benefits the Idaho Humane Society for pets and their humans. So we also like cats. So here's our walk route. It is going to just be the opposite direction on the green belt. We had a little bit of funneling issues under the bridge. So we're going to go the other way, let people spread out. They naturally do that through the walk. So we've already got that all settled with Summer. So here is my vendor map. It is tentative. We are still taking vendors and changing locations based on complaints from the vendors, things like that, on where they're located. And then we did move our food trucks to a different location this year because we did get Porta Johns this year due to more people than we expected last year, and the facilities just were not quite enough. So we moved the food trucks to the other side of the band shell, and we'll have the Porta Johns on the other side where the food trucks were last year. All right, so the night before, just like every other year, we come out and flag it for vendors. And then the morning of, vendors will have a staggered load in, 7 a.m. to 9:30. And then the event opens at 10 a.m. The walk starts at 10:30. Contests begin after the walk, and then we will clean up at 1. I have hired Signal 88 to handle security again and to close off that road so people aren't driving through where we're walking. We have a first aid booth that's going to be manned by primary health employees this year. Everyone will have their cell phones in case of an issue. We have traffic cones to block off that road in Julia Davis. We will have our animal control on site. This year we have a new director, so he's sending a couple of animal control trucks out. We will also have a few more dog correctors. There was a couple of dog fights, but nothing major. And then also we have West Vet will be there for emergency vet care in case there's any bites or anything major that might happen. This year for promotional materials, we have yard signs. It's on Facebook, Instagram. We have 21 billboards with Lamar. The river is running ads, and we are running ads on KTVB this year as well. So pretty well advertised. Our recycling and trash plan is the same as last year, an 8-yard trash bin and an 8-yard recycle bin, 30 trash boxes and 20 recycle boxes. We do have a green team again to sort that for us, so we're not recycling things that are not recyclable. And then food vendors, these are shifting right now because of permitting. So I will have an updated list as soon as they get back with me on that. But I did hear the sticker's orange, not blue, so ignore that. Neighborhood notification, I will be hand delivering notifications to Boise Art Museum, Idaho History Museum, and Zoo Boise, and contacting local restaurants around just to let them know you might have an influx of people with dogs coming to your location. For the cleanup plan, we have Idaho Poop Scoop. They come and make sure the park we don't have anything left behind after the event. We have volunteers that'll be helping clean up, and we will ensure that we leave the park cleaner than when we got there. And this dog is Mater, and he's up for adoption. Any questions?
No, fantastic. Thank you. Such a fun event. John, I won't say a word about cats. You can just go.
Hi. Great event. ACHD doesn't really have anything. It doesn't sound like you're impacting our roadways or our sidewalks. So it's really safe and really enjoyable.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
So same question, you had 8 yards last year and that worked okay?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, even some people threw their TV in there the night before, so we
Oh.
still had plenty of room.
Yeah, people will do that. Okay, and we're gonna put them by the band shell and that's gonna be okay this year.
Yep.
How about the boxes, the cardboard boxes? Are you planning on getting those from me at my office?
We can, whatever's best for you, we can pick them up from you. That's fine.
Okay.
Just
yeah.
let me know the date.
I'll let Ed add to that, but he might not have that many here and you might have to come out and get them.
Okay,
But he should have the recycled containers for you.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to Ed.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, I'll quickly address that. Quick question. Last year, looks like we gave you 6 recycle bins and 15 trash boxes. This year, it's 30 and 20 you're requesting. Any reason why you're requesting the additional?
I think we did
items,
request
or-
that many last year, but there wasn't that many. So we just,
Okay.
because it's the end of the season, so we just had what was left over.
Okay, we can talk more if that worked or if you would like more. So that's not a biggie. And also just quickly, you have sorters like hand picking the contamination out of the recycling? Is that
We do.
correct?
That's what we had last year as well. We have a team that's just making sure they're not sticking recyclables in the trash or trash in the recyclables.
Wow, wonderful. Well, thank them for me if you could. And yeah, I'll just be in touch with your email and we'll get you what you need. So thank you.
Thank you.
Amy, we're set to go in parking. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
And we're good. So see spot walk.
Hi, good morning, Amy.
Morning.
Did you receive the email I sent you? on
I
8th?
did, and then I emailed my vendors and I've already lost one because of a fire permit. So
Oh,
I will email you back.
Okay.
It's changing now, so.
got it. So with it being like 3+ weeks away,
Yeah.
there's a lot of time to process all the paperwork. So just do us a favor. And once you have the vendor list finalized, just send it over along with the notification of the event.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hi, Amy. I was just looking over your certificate of liability and I know it's picky, but we need the certificate holder to say City of Boise. Currently it says City of Boise, Julia Davis Park, and then it's the park address, but it needs to be City Hall's location. So it's 150 Capitol Boulevard.
Okay, I will get with my insurance company and
Thank
have her
you.
change that rider.
I'll send you an email too on that.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. You guys do such a good job at this event. So thank you for the cleanup afterwards. And I know the night before is so much help for you guys. So we'll make sure that we have it all set. And if you want to do a walkthrough as you get closer when you have your final vendors, I'm happy to walk through with you.
Great,
But
sounds good.
thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cameo.
Good morning. I'm going to send you an email today just to get some clarification on what equipment they'll have for the first aid booth and then also contact names and numbers for that day.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Amy. Just a couple of questions. We talked yesterday. I'd like to make a small request to the footprint, if that's okay.
Okay,
Just every 7 to 10 clusters of tents that are close together, just give me a 12-foot space in between those
Absolutely.
clusters. That'd be wonderful.
I can do that. This was thrown together.
Yeah.
So we will definitely spread it out a little
Sure.
bit more.
Okay.
Yep.
And then, of course, the food trucks 10 feet apart and
Yep.
just keep an eye on that because when as they start to arrive, they'll park pretty close to each other pretty quickly. And then once they're set, it's hard to move them. So just keep an eye on that. And
Absolutely.
then fire access. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Nothing really from Boise Police. We will put it in our briefing packet for officers so they're aware of the event and some stuff.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Are you gonna have your canines there?
Yeah, you could bring a canine.
Yeah. So I don't have anything regarding the state, but I think if you tried a little bit harder, you could make that look like a dog.
I think we could. We probably could.
Have fun.
I'll let my map maker know.
No cats. It'll be a mess.
People always bring a cat. I had someone request to bring squirrels. I said no.
Rachel.
Great event. Thank you so much. I'm just going to echo a little bit on what Jesse and also Cameo said. So on the medical side, we keep recommending to events to use an app called What Three Words. And what that allows you to do is have a specific 3 words that align with a grid that you can provide dispatch, so they know where they're sending responders if they need to get to you. That also helps when you're out on the green belt. We've just seen a lot of events this year where we've had medical emergencies where we're sending in transport. So that would just be a tremendous help to them if they had that information from you directly. And then on Julia Davis Drive, just please keep it as clear as possible so that emergency resources can get through there and to you if needed. So other than that, we have everything we need. It's a wonderful event and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Hi, Amy. It will be Boise State game day, kickoff not until 6, but most of the tailgaters, I think, kind of load in and out and through the park throughout the day. So just a little bit of overlap there just to be aware of. If you need anything from the clerk's office, don't hesitate to reach out. You could send any of the documents that are being requested to the special events email, and then they'll get uploaded so everybody can find them.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Amy.
Thank you.
All right, up next, Harrison Classic. Welcome back, you guys. Such a fun event. I know kids around Boise look forward to this.
Yeah, we have fun with this one. My daughter gets to run in this one, and I just had another daughter 2 weeks ago, so she's going to push her sister in a buggy this year. So, all right, so this year's Harrison Classic will look a lot like the Harrison Classics of past years. The only difference is we wanted to run it in reverse. So instead of starting at Macaulay Park at 17th and Hayes area, we're going to start at Good Street on the other end of Harrison Boulevard and run in reverse. I'll show you what those maps kind of look like. But this event has been around the YMCA, with the YMCA for over 35 years. Oh, that's fine. That's fine, yeah. Yep. So this event you're all familiar with has been around for over 35 years now. Past populations for these events has fluctuated between 1,000 and 1,300. We kind of learned to cap it around the 1,200 mark just for courtesy to the neighborhood. We don't want to inundate them too much, but they also do really enjoy this event. If you've ever been down to it, you see how much Harrison Boulevard actually engages with our event and the kids, and they have a great time. So we're anticipating again to cap that roughly around 1,200. So the event, as we've seen before, is designed to get the kids coming out. This is more of a participation event. We don't really do awards for age groups or running fast. This is more just come out, have a healthy lifestyle. We give the kids a snack at the end. And then we do encourage schools to participate. So we do have an award for the schools that provide the most participants will get a little scholarship from us to their PE programs. So we do encourage as many people as possible to come out, and we can try to get a benefit to them that way. The amenities at the Finish Fair have always been the same. We try to get a bounce house. We have one set aside. We have some snacks. They're all prepackaged snacks from Go-Go Squeeze. We have some music playing and some other vendors. We see Idaho Central Credit Union is our title sponsor this year. Anderson Renewal is going to be providing some games. Some other vendors that haven't quite committed yet that we can let you know if we have any food vendors or anything like that. As of the moment right now, we don't. So we'll let you know if that vendor list changes. The security plan, because the footprint of the event doesn't have to change, our security plan and traffic control for this event doesn't have to look any different than it has in the past. I already spoke to Matt Konvalinka about the potential for having fewer cones and barrels provided by our traffic control company, since that's been an endemic problem for us at all of our events. We do have some contingency plans and also trying to acquire some of our own materials, but we'll make sure that we have good coverage on traffic control this go around. We don't want to be beholden to our provider necessarily, or trust them or take them at their word until they start performing for us the way we like. Because we're going to run the other way, I did have a few questions about trying to keep the kids on one side of the street or the other, but based on the numbers that we have, I'm pretty sure we have to use the full street, as we always have. But we will work with Officer Kamvalika and also with BME and REACT. We also have a Christian motorcyclist group this year that wants to provide 20 people on motorcycles to escort the kids down the street. So it's going to be kind of a fun production, I think. Traffic control plan for that day. The event starts at 3 o'clock. We'll be on site around 1 o'clock to set up our finish and start areas. Typically with the events, we'll close Harrison Boulevard 45 minutes before. We'll do a sweep of the street 10 minutes before. And then as soon as the officers on site give us the go ahead, we release the kids and they have a great time running. This year they'll be running downhill, so I think they'll find it fun instead of running uphill. We do a little bit of a wave so that the kids spread out over the time period, but the optimized plan, and typically what we see is Harrison Boulevard only needs to be closed for about 45 minutes total. The way we have set it up is that the start line and the finish line can be brought out onto the street as soon as the roads are closed, and as soon as the last kid is through the finish line, they can collapse back onto the side of the road and traffic can resume on Harrison Boulevard. So we want to keep that artery flowing as easily as possible. You can see the cross streets are managed in this configuration. We do have volunteers assigned at each intersection just to enact a rolling closure. So as the kids come, Harrison Boulevard closes. As soon as the last one passes, those cross streets open up again. And then we have the traffic control plan for the start area at Good Street and Hill Road there. And then the traffic control plan around Macaulay Park. We're excited to have the finish fair at Macaulay Park. We think it'll be a little bit more of a picturesque scene, a little bit more fun to have it at one of our Boise parks than in a parking lot where we've traditionally had it. So we're excited about that. There's a little grid of what our start area will look like. We'll stage the kids along Good Street and bring them out onto Harrison Boulevard in waves so that they won't have to be waiting on a busy street. We'll be bringing them out and then send them down the road. We'll have the green circles there are our porta potties area. So we do have the numbers of porta potties at the start and the finish area so that we can provide facilities for anybody at either end. The finish area will look roughly like this. We'll funnel the kids in and turn them onto 17th Street so that we can get them off of Harrison Boulevard and put them into the park. That allows us to then collapse the finish area off of Harrison and resume traffic as soon as we can. We do have DJs there. Our medical plan for this event has always been to provide 4 of our YMCA lifeguards who are all trained. They have the What 3 Words app. So we make sure that they have all those things on their phones before they or come to any of our events. And then we'll have a bounce house and all of our vendors scattered around, and I think it'll be a great time. Our plan on notices is our notices will actually go out next week to the neighborhood. We've already sent out flyers and mailers to the neighborhood so that everybody's aware of it coming down the turn here. So shouldn't be too big of a deal there. We've even had a few people on Harrison Boulevard reach out to our executive director and ask what they can do to actually help us. So we know that we have great community support for this event, and we really appreciate that. Traffic or trash, we plan on having a 6-yard dumpster at the Macaulay Park end. All the other trash, we do have some trash boxes of our own, but we would like to get some from the city as well. We don't have any of our own recycling bins. We would like to get some from Ed if possible. The trash from the start end will be ferried down to the finish end and put into that dumpster. Anything that doesn't fit into that dumpster, we have the ability to transport off-site. But hopefully, if we find out that a 6-yard isn't enough, we'll get an 8 next time. And then there's the overall course map, 1 straight line, 1 quick mile, and the kids have a great time. So any questions?
Thank you. ECHD.
Hi. So I've seen your traffic control plan. I have it approved. I didn't realize, so for the volunteers at all the side roads, if they can they can release a they can just step out of the way, but they cannot control traffic. They cannot, you know what I mean? They can't direct them, manage them. That has to be certified flaggers if you're going to do that.
Okay.
So just so that we're clear on that.
Okay.
But yeah, the traffic control plan I've seen, it looks good. I like it.
Okay.
Let me add something. Really and truly, I think I'd rather have no cross traffic on the side streets, because then you have the potential for a driver to turn north or south and get into the event. And so if we just divert all traffic and tell them to use Hill Road, I think that might be a little safer for the children. If we're doing Halloween on Harrison this year, and I don't know whether that's going to happen or not, Lemp will not be an authorized access point. Harrison will be shut down, tight as a drum. There will be no cross traffic allowed. We just had too many issues with stupid people doing stupid things last year. Right, Sergeant Kamalinka?
All right, so your recommendation is to just not have a rolling closure, just one solid closure.
I think so. We're only talking 40, 45 minutes, and then we can open it back up. But
Not a problem.
if you have somebody that wants to go through it Lemp and then makes a left or a right, now you're chasing them down, trying to get them out of the footprint.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Ed,
Hey, good morning. Everything looks pretty good. I did have a question though. So how are you hauling the recycling that you're collecting?
We have an internal enclosed trailer and a truck that we use on the day.
Okay, and then you'll just use your own dumpsters, like recycling dumpster. Okay.
Any overflow will come with us to our own dumpsters.
Okay, well, great. Thank you. That's all I've got.
Good morning. I actually show here, we're expecting a 6-yard for trash and 6-yard for recycle to
perfect.
deliver.
I'm glad I
If
did
you're
that.
okay
I
with
didn't
that.
remember what I did, so there we go. Yeah.
So that'll cut down on your transportation there.
Even better.
Okay. I do have a question for ACHD.
You got to ring the bell.
ACHD.
What was that?
Harrison Classic has a permit for dumpsters in the street. However, the address is about a block away from where we're putting them. Is that going to be a problem, do you think? Correct.
We don't see a problem. There's going to be a parking area in the road.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
We're set in parking. Thank you.
Thanks, Vince.
We appreciate that you do this event on a Sunday. We don't have service on Sunday, so have fun.
Hey, guys, thank you for the presentation. David, we've been in communication via email. You're good to go. Thank you for submitting the application. Based on the menu, it's not going to require a license fee or an inspection. Are there any more information I can provide you at this time?
I don't think so. I think what you've communicated, and then I've read the applications that you've sent to me more closely, and I've answered a lot of those questions myself. If I do, I will reach out.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, congratulations on the new baby.
Thank you very much.
Can't believe you're here. 2 weeks. My daughter is thrilled to run this again.
Yeah.
And just looking at your presentation, so we'll just need your certificate of insurance, and then we'll also need a copy of the Bounce House's certificate of insurance.
we love this event. I do have one little concern though. At the end, can you tell me how long? Do you feel like that's enough space for all of these kids to come and stay and have an event at McCall?
Yeah, roughly it is the exact same square footage
Mhm.
as the other end
Just the
where we
park end.
traditionally been. And we're going to be controlling the traffic along the 17th Street side
That's perfect.
and the north and south. streets
Okay,
as
so you'll
well.
open Harrison, but that'll still be
But
contained.
that crescent is ours and we're keeping that controlled for ours. And as it starts to dwindle, we'll reopen.
I feel much better. 'Cause it's like a little island there. So I was
Yeah, there
worried,
we go.
but perfect. Thank you.
Cameo.
My niece and nephew love this event. They live down there and they do it every year. I don't have any questions.
I don't have any questions either. Just confirming the 10 by 10 pop-ups. That's all you're
Just
having?
10 by 10s.
Just 5 or 6 of them? Okay. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
I don't have any questions at this point to John's comments. As far as a rolling closure, yeah, generally what we do is we've been locking it down like 5 minutes beforehand. It stays locked until it's over and then we open it back up. So yeah, it keeps everybody safe.
Sounds good.
My kids will also be doing this and I can't just say I have nothing anymore. So it's a good event.
Thank you.
Rachel.
Good morning. Always an amazing event. You guys do such a good job and thank you for working with us with some of the other concerns. If you could just get us who the point of contacts are going to be in that first aid station, that would be awesome. And then we'll just wait for the finalized traffic control plan and be able to share that out with any of the emergency services that need it.
Thank you.
And the clerk's office is good. If you guys have any questions or anything, let us know how we can help. Feel free to send all the documents to the special events email and we'll get them dispersed to the team.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great.
And our final event is Light the Night. And I think our event organizers are online. Is that correct?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me again. I appreciate it.
Morning, Becca.
Good morning. I am from the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and we'll have Light the Night again this year. Let me bring that up. Give me just a sec. And so we will be back at Cecil D. Andrus Park in front of the Capitol again this year on Thursday, October 12th, with an anticipated guest count of about 1,000. Just a general description of the event. So it's a community event that we celebrate all of the year's fundraisers that have been raising funds in the fight against cancer. There'll be a lantern lighting ceremony to show support for patients, survivors, caregivers, and loved ones who we've lost to cancer. And that'll be followed by a short family-friendly walk in solidarity with our community. So we have a load-in day the day before on the 11th and then load out on the 14th. On the 11th, we should be arriving at about 9 a.m. with Idaho Tents and Events, setting up the tents in the park. We will have porta potties delivered, but they haven't given us a time yet. And then there may be some small supplies that'll be delivered that day as well. And then everything will be picked up the morning of Friday, the 14th. And then the day of the event will be arriving at 8:30 a.m. to be on site for AV prep. At 9 a.m., Roadwork Ahead is our vendor for the road closures, and that'll begin on Capitol Boulevard at the bottom. And at 9 a.m., also right behind those road closures, we'll have Valiant Productions loading in our mobile stage. We'll have volunteers arriving throughout the day. At about 1:32, we'll start to bring out the fallout barriers for our fireworks area. And then at the same time, Jefferson, right at the top of the park, will close between 8th and 6th. We'll have Western Display on site for fireworks setup around that time as well. And then we'll start to have guest arrival at around 6 p.m. At 6:30, we'll have our volunteers that'll be placed around the walk route to help guide guests as they go around the walk. And then at 7, we'll usher guests to the stage area. We'll have our program starting at about 7:15, 7:30. And then at 7:45, the walk starts. And then we will have walkers beginning to arrive back at the site around 8:15 with fireworks immediately to follow. And then everybody will also just clear the site and we'll kind of open everything up as available. So for the map and the walk route, I'm going to change over really quick because it's just kind of, it's hard to zoom in and see. So I'm going to bring something else up that shows a little better. So this is our main event site. We have our fireworks shoot zone in the street just above or just below the Capitol. These pink markers here are the road closures on either side. And then at the bottom of the Y on Capitol Boulevard.
I don't think that we're seeing what you're seeing. right
Oh, oops, sorry. Let me switch that over. I always forget. I have to switch to, I always forget when I switch to Zoom that it's different. We're used to Teams. Sorry about that.
thank you so
Okay, that map there for you?
Yep, that's great.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so we have that that fireworks shoot zone right here, and then road closures on either side, and road closures at the bottom of the Y on Capitol, and then the main event site to the right side of the Y on Capitol. We have our stage that'll be loading in here and will be placed below the fallout zone. That's about a 20-foot by 24-foot mobile stage. And then we'll have our starting line arch for the walk right here with a couple of generators. The main tenting area for our sponsors and teams will be here. And then our main entry area will be this area, but there's no barricades or anything other than the fallout zone. So everybody's just kind of welcome to enter as they need. We have all 10 by 10 high peak pavilion structure tents, except for 2 of our tents will be 10 by 10 pop-ups. And then 3 of those areas will be 10 by 20s. And this remembrance zone will be all pipe and drape, about a 20 by 20 area. And then for the walk route, I'll just switch over to the map view. Pardon, that takes just a second. So as guests are centered around the staging area, they'll be released from the program through the starting line arch up Capitol Boulevard to take a right on West Jefferson. They'll take a right on 3rd Street and then take another right on Idaho up to 8th and meeting back at the park on Bannock and Capitol Boulevard. And then for our road closures, we are using Road Work Ahead. They have these 2 closures here at the bottom, and then either side of, either side of Jefferson over here, and then the remaining signage throughout the walk route for any detours. And then for our medical emergency and risk plans, we have a risk procedure that we go through with our entire staff and volunteer team. We notify them that the nearest emergency hospital is St. Luke's. If anything is beyond first aid on site, then we refer everything to 911. We collect all of their information, of course, and then we have a procedure that if a guest or anybody, a volunteer, staff member, anybody does not have an escort to go to the hospital, then we would send one of our staff, and that's all determined in a risk portfolio that we do ahead of time to assign those positions. To establish a phone tree prior to the event, all of our first aid is directed to the solutions tent on our map, where a medical professional will be dedicated. We do have a procedure that if there are any lightning strikes anywhere within a 15-mile radius, then basically everything halts. We direct guests to go to an actual structure other than a tent, a car, another building or something for at least 30 minutes until there's no lightning in that area for at least 30 minutes. We are all connected to Alert Media, which is our own proprietary app that helps us notify, know if there's anything going on in the area, whether it be, from police or fire or any type of risk thing in anywhere in our vicinity, along with a lightning weather app and weather radar app. And then we do have a procedure that all of our staff walks the route ahead of our attendee arrival to just reassess the walk route to make sure there's no hazards or anything, as well as the site as well. We did have that happen last year where we walked the route and then there were extra road closures and construction that we didn't know about. So, we kind of changed that up and notified everybody and made sure that we made sure of that, that was taken care of with police department ahead of time. We will be planning to notify door to door for all the affected businesses 1 week prior with one of our staff that is there in the area. All of our permits and requests that we've put in, a list of food truck vendors will be sent to the health department as soon as we have those confirmed. And a notification of event has been submitted as well. Food trucks are being asked to notify or verify that they have their yearly fire department inspection, that's up to date. The event permit has been submitted with the fire department. The fireworks permit has been submitted with the state fire marshal. ACHD permit has been filed. Boise PD and React support has been requested for the walk route. And for trash, we have the 8-yard trash and recycle dumpsters and cardboard receptacles, I think 15 of each that have been requested. For parking, all of the meters directly surrounding the park have been secured and those have been hooded and capped for the event day, as well as the day prior for our load-in areas, as well as dumpster areas. And those spots will be used for staff and those guests in need of ADA accessible parking and load in and load out. And then the rest of our guests in pre-event communications will be directed to use available city parking and using public transit whenever possible. And I believe that's it. Any other questions?
Thanks so much. Super comprehensive. And I'm guessing we'll have just a few questions from folks.
Sure.
So we will start with ACHD.
Hi. So I have your traffic control plan. I don't recall it showing the Jefferson closure, but I'll double check and I'll get back to you. We can talk offline.
Okay.
The pedestrians, you're going to have escorts at all the crossing locations while we're stopping the pedestrians and, instead of signage and stuff, correct?
Correct. We've requested React assistance with that, and then we'll have additional volunteer support as well.
Perfect. And on your walk route, are you staying on the sidewalk the entire time, or are you going to take a lane of traffic?
We had anticipated that last year, and then Boise PD was under the impression that there was an actual closure. So they kind of led that in front of us. We're happy to do either. We're happy to keep things just to the sidewalk if that's preferable.
Well, it's just a matter of, if you're gonna have police escort for the walk and you're taking a lane, I just need to know. If you're gonna stay on the sidewalk, I also need to know. It just makes it easier all the way around.
Sure. I mean, we have Boise PD escort as I understand it. So I guess we can make that the plan.
Yeah, generally it's easier if we just take a lane of travel because they have so many people involved that having them all stay on the sidewalk will string it out quite a ways. So it's just easier. We take them a lane. It's a quick route around the route and we're done.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
One other thing, traffic control has to be moved out of the right of way and deactivated at the end of the event. Has to be picked up the following day. Bicycle lanes are not an acceptable place for traffic control to be placed. If you place them in bicycle lanes, you're going to start getting lots of nasty phone calls.
Okay.
Because I'm getting lots of nasty phone calls.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. We actually changed our vendor this year from Northwest Traffic Services to this new company, specifically because they didn't exactly follow our timeline or our instructions as far as placement last year. So we changed vendors specifically to make sure and adhere to that. So
I just recommend that in your contract, you put that if they don't have it removed by a certain time, you're gonna fine them for every 15 minutes or every hour. It's gonna cost them some of their money, because otherwise your stuff is gonna stay out there until Christmas.
sure, absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely notify them and make sure that's taken care of.
Thank you for the hyperbole.
I don't want phone calls from you.
I don't call you.
I get them from the mayor's office. I get them from everybody. Yeah, and you know it too.
Ed.
All right, good morning. And John, maybe I'll start calling you too. I don't know. I'll think about it. So yeah, I just wanted to ask, 15 trash boxes and 15 recycling bins is what you had last year and what you're requesting this year. Does that amount work for you? Too much, too little? Is it fine?
I think that's perfect. Yeah.
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 Well, great. We'll get you what you need and have a great event.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you mind showing the map again and zooming in on the dumpsters? I'm wondering if it's different than the map I have. And we can't see the screen.
Yep. Let me get that up for you. Just one second. There you go. So we had them plotted here this year. I think they were up on the other corner last year. But this year they requested that we put them down in this region, closer to the porta potties.
Okay, yep, that is different than the map I have, so I'll make a note.
Okay.
I see you have the reservation of meters already, so that part's good. The only thing I'm missing is an ACHD dumpster permit to have those in the street. And if you already have a permit from ACHD, this is going to be a different one.
Okay.
It's different from their special event permit. So if you need help locating that, I can help you.
Sure. Absolutely. I'll get that right away.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Becca, this is Vincent Parking. We have all the metered spaces reserved as we need them, so we're set to go.
Thank you, Vince.
Thank you.
Hi, Becca. This is Dave with Valley Regional Transit. What time are the streets closed for the walk? I need to assess that for how it might impact a couple of our routes.
So the, let's see, just one second. These two closures down at the bottom of Capitol here, those will be closed at 9 a.m. And then the two up on Jefferson on either side here will be at 2 p.m. And then for the walk route itself, that'll be at about 7:15 that guests will begin to walk. So we'll have that one lane of travel.
And you are not closing Idaho?
No.
Okay, then I think we're good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, Becca. This is Dinko of Central District Health. I've been in touch with Alyssa, and I believe she's going to submit the notification of the event in the list of food vendors. So shouldn't have any issues. There is one food truck that's based out of Southwest District Health. I believe they have a cottage food form on file.
Okay.
Versus an actual mobile permit. So Alyssa connected me with that vendor, and we're just going to confirm that that's the case. And if there are anything else that needs to be addressed, we'll let you know. But as of now, you are good to go. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Hi, Becca. This is Julianne with City Risk Management. So we'll just need your certificate of insurance and just make sure that it covers all your days. That includes setup and takedown.
Hi, Becca. The parks is good. I did see on your notes that you had a question mark for the tents for staking or weights. And so they need to be weighted for that park. So
Yeah, that wasn't actually a question. Sorry, I noted that for myself just so I could ask it and I wouldn't forget. We definitely have everything set to be weighted. The only thing they were wondering, because in years past, we've used just the pop-up tents and this year we're using the structure ones, which require more weight. So they were wondering if they could actually drop those the day before load in.
they can do it if you have the park reserved. They can build it. So what
Got
would
it.
that be Wednesday that you were saying? So they can set it up on Wednesday. They need to make sure that they use their tent aux though, because you don't want to have to pay for the ruts in the grass if they come in and use a different piece of machinery. So you can connect them with me and I can talk to her about it.
Okay, got it.
You guys don't have to worry about that. It's really normal and we do it often with these other events. So,
okay.
but other
great.
than that, you guys do a great job. So thanks for coming back.
Cameo.
Morning, Becca. Cameo with the paramedics. Would it be possible to see what you use for your risk portfolio for the medical portion of it? And then also if we could get the contact information for that medical professional that's going to be manning the first aid booth, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Becca, thank you. This is Jesse with Boise Fire. We talked last night. Just a couple questions. The footprint at Jefferson and 6, is that a tent in the street? It's
Jefferson and 6. No, I think that was a road closure, but let me make sure we're talking about the same thing. So this area up here,
yeah. What is that? Is that a?
that's the road closure.
Okay. What is it? Is it just barricades?
Yeah, barricades.
Okay. Okay. The only other question I had was the fireworks display. I see you got your permit in. It's Western display this year.
Correct.
And I'm looking at I was going to ask for detailed product information, but they have submitted more than what I need. So it looks really good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Okay, awesome.
Good morning. It's a great event. We're staffed and ready to do it and look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hi, this is Steve with the state. A couple questions regarding Jefferson closure at 2 p.m. on the day of the event. ISP will need access from 2 to 5. It's just a barricade. I wouldn't assume it'd be an issue. They'll be outside of the fireworks zone is my guess, but just a heads up.
Sure.
And then you mentioned that the state fire marshal had received a copy of the fireworks permit, or is that just the city fire marshal?
Western Display should have been filing that as far as we knew that's what we were told. So I can check on that if not.
If not, I can send it all to the state fire marshal as well.
I'll just have Jesse send it to me today and then we'll get it all forwarded. Make sure that way the state fire marshal is aware. We did have some issues with the last event with some fireworks landing on our rooftop. So I have to go up and inspect that today. So we'll see if it impacts anybody else further. Other than
Sure.
that, I think we're good.
Absolutely.
Rachel.
Thanks, Becca, for the presentation. You guys do a wonderful job. It's a tremendous event. We have everything we need. We'll put it all together and make a packet for our responders if they need to go down there. So yeah, have a great time.
Thanks.
Quick question, Rachel and or Jesse, did you guys address the dome material for that tent? It was a question that Rachel brought up in our review meeting about it being fireproof or not.
Yes, I believe you sent the documentation over, Becca. Is that correct?
So we've actually eliminated the dome altogether this year. Yeah, last year there was a 30-foot inflatable dome. We've eliminated that. So it in its place will just be 8-foot pipe and drape. And that'll be coming from the rental company as well.
Okay, thank you. If you need anything else from the clerk's office, let us know. The map and everything looked good. And I got your presentation uploaded, so everybody will have a copy of that too.
Terrific. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Please let me know if you need anything else.
Will do.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, just 2 events. Look like we're still waiting on sign off from a couple of different agencies. Boise Oktoberfest and St. Luke's Fit One. Is anyone waiting on anything in particular that Kelly might be able to help track down?
We are waiting on a medical plan. From them, I think they're changing who they're gonna use, but we haven't heard back yet.
And is that Oktoberfest or Fit One?
Oktoberfest, I'm sorry.
Rachel, I think you have a hand raised.
Yeah, sorry, that's the same thing. We've been communicating back and forth with Oktoberfest. Just kind of getting delays in responses, but yeah, we're definitely waiting on the medical plan and they've been provided all the information that we have. Tammy has done a good job of answering questions as well. So until we see that, we're kind of holding out.
Oktoberfest has not submitted a CUP nor payment to ACHD, and I annotated that yesterday in the city database.
Great, thank you.
Okay, I'll be happy to follow up with Mila today on both of those issues and get them taken care of.
When is her Hayden event?
It was last Saturday.
Okay. So maybe she was getting through that one and then
Yeah.
focusing on the next. Right. Anything else for the good of the order? All right. See everyone in a couple weeks.